Yeah, I feel good. I think over this past week, every single day that's passed, I've been able to feel a little bit better. So, I feel comfortable to say that I'm close to 100% right now, and I'm just happy to be able to say that each day it has been getting better.
Let's go to Adam in the second row.
Jackson, to follow up on that, how do you manage it? Because these games are so important, every base is so important. Do you have to think in your head to be a little bit careful, and how difficult is that to do when you're, say, running the bases?
¿Cómo tú manejas esa situación? Porque obviamente está difícil por la importancia de los juegos. Tú tienes que manejar eso diferente en cómo tú corres los bases o cómo tú estás jugando defensa.
No, la verdad que defensivamente yo creo que nunca tuve problemas, ¿sabes? Siempre traté de hacer todas las jugadas que podía y gracias a Dios pude resolver pues en ese sentido. Y corriendo las bases yo creo que sí me cuido un poquito, pero ya como lo he dicho, me siento mucho mejor y me siento en una buena capacidad como para ponerle un poco más.
Yeah, defensively, I don't think it's been much of a problem. I think I've been able to make all of the plays and give 100% effort to make whatever plays has been needed. On the bases is where, sure, yeah, I think I've definitely maybe paid a little bit more mind to it and maybe had to be just a little bit more careful. But like I said, I think we're getting closer and closer to being back to 100%, and where that's not something that we're going to have to think about as much.
Go to Steve in the second row in the middle.
For Abner, you brought it out there, so I'm guessing it was your call for the Dominican Republic flag. What made you decide to bring it out there, and just the pride that you and Freddy both have kind of in your home?
Obviamente tú eres el que trae la bandera, es el orgullo y por qué tomaste la decisión para sacar la bandera para dentro.
Creo que cuando joven siempre me gustó Giordano Ventura, verlo como su forma de lanzar y de cómo se desempeñaba dentro del terreno, y siempre veía que él llevaba la bandera con él. Entonces algo que me tocó a mí ahora y lo traigo para mí es un orgullo y una oportunidad de estar aquí con la bandera hoy.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I always really liked watching Giordano Ventura pitch, and it was something I always really enjoyed, just the way he went about it, the way that he would throw, and I always remember him going with being with the flag at all times. So it's a great honor, it's a great pride to be able to do it, and it makes me very happy to be able to bring it up and do it myself now.
Go up to the top right on the aisle.
Freddie, the Dodgers aren't 90 miles away from you, so there might be significantly less opposing fans in the building tonight. What kind of atmosphere are you expecting, and how much does the fan interaction help you guys or affect this game?
So, can you ask me the question again?
Yeah, Freddie, what kind of atmosphere are you expecting tonight, and how much do the fans play a role in the game?
I think the fans, makes a difference for this game, but we just here for the fans, and we love the support of each one, and like I said before, we play this game because we love the game, but it's way better when we enjoy the crowd every night here. That's it.
Let's go to Kurt in the third row on the right.
For Freddie, how proud are you to watch Abner and the way he's taken steps forward this year and become one of the better relievers in all of baseball?
I'm really proud about him, and I let him know all the time because I know his process in the minor, how difficult it was for him, and what he has done here for us and for his career. It's been unbelievable, and I wish him the best, and hopefully he keeps doing that for many years because what he has done already is very impressive.
Go up to the fourth row in the middle.
Question to Jackson and Abner. I'm sure that Freddy is like your brother, and what you have learned from him, like how to approach the games, like a mental aspect in the big stage.
Para ustedes dos, ella se imagina que Freddy como el hermano tuyo, que tú has aprendido de él, de cómo manejar las emociones, obviamente lo vuelve importante y grande como él.
No, la verdad que Freddy es alguien que sabe manejar esa presión muy bien. La verdad que a mí personalmente me gusta mucho la manera en la que él se disfruta cuando saca un cero o un bueno que hace así. La verdad que hay muchas cosas que aprender de él, ¿sabes? Él es alguien súper atento, alguien que practica esas pequeñas cosas, ¿sabes? Pero en lo personal yo no le presto mucha atención a eso, pero lo veo a él y sé que ese tipo de cosas son las que uno tiene que mejorar cada día para mantenerse sano lo más posible.
Yeah, I think Freddie's just a great person to learn from in these situations and in these games. I think he does a great job of, managing his emotions. And I personally always like whenever his emotions come out and seeing how animated he gets whenever he gets a big zero or something like that. So I think it's a lot of fun to watch. But Freddie's just a person in general that you can learn a lot from. And so I think in these moments it's great to have him. He pays a lot of attention to the little details and things like that are things that maybe you don't notice, immediately, but are good things to watch and to have to learn from. Y la misma pregunta para ti.
Como Chourio dijo, de la forma en que como se desempeña dentro del terreno, con el tipo de persona que es, líder, ¿me entiendes? Algo que tú admiras como compañero y como ser humano, de la forma en que trabaja y cómo se maneja dentro y fuera del terreno.
And yeah, just like Jackson said, watching what Freddie does out on the field, it's very admirable to watch, and he's an admirable person to have both as a teammate and as a human off the field, just to be able to follow his leadership and his example, what he sets forth in between the lines.
For me, I have to try it. I don't like to think about it, but I understand and I know that it's really important. I think that we have the people here that are in charge to check on us and make sure that we are doing it right. But, at the end of the day, it's part of the game, and you never know. And they are really good at it. But I think that I just have to stay focused in the game and try to make it simple and not think too much. That's it.
Let's go over to Sophia on the far right.
Freddie, for you, is there anything to settling in maybe into the postseason now that you've made 2 starts in the DS, or do you have to really treat each one as a new start, new challenge?
I think it's a new challenge, but at the end of the day, for me, I just take it like another game, because for me, what it works is just keep the game simple and go outside and compete. Each hitter, each pitch that I throw is what makes me feel more comfortable with myself. Because if I don't want to try to keep doing more than normal, and then but I try to keep the game simple.
Adam, second row.
Freddie, to test your memory, in the 2018 NLCS, do you remember the way your team mixed and matched the pitching, and it wasn't necessarily a lot of starters pitching the whole game? Does this feel like that? And how do you feel about going into a series of 7 games and having to do some of that as a team?
It feels like similar, if I'm not wrong, but for sure, without afraid to make a mistake or something. I know that for some reason, this team feels different. It's way better feelings. How we manage everything, in the clubhouse, talking about players, is different. And I know that Murph and the other coaching staff, they are doing what they think is best for the team. And, I can remember how often we use the relievers and starting, back and forth and all that. But I remember that Woody, me, we came from the bullpen multiple times. And it feels kind of the same, but it's 8 years ago. I can't remember a lot of those, but I remember it was fun. So let's keep it that way.
Let's go to Jack in the middle of the third row.
Abner, after some of the challenges you experienced last year with the performance and the demotion and the injury, what did you learn from that experience last year that you felt you were able to take with you this year to help you have more success?
Después de todo lo que pasó el año pasado con lesión, ¿qué tú llevaste del año pasado que ha traído éxito para este año?
Creo que la disciplina pues es lo más que me ha ayudado. Pues he trabajado el año pasado tuve mucho que pensar, ¿me entiendes? En el momento cuando me lesioné tuve mucho de que reflexionar y trabajar en mí, ¿me entiendes? Entonces ya lo que tuve que agregarle al talento fue la disciplina y trabajar cada día más con un objetivo y una meta por la cual trabajar.
I think discipline is the part of my game that helped me the most. You know, whenever you're hurt, you have a lot of time to think and to reflect on yourself and avenues that you can better yourself and better your game. And I think discipline is for sure that, and just being able to better set objectives and goals daily to go out there and work on and to continue stacking days on top of each other and building off of success we've had.
Why do I do them?
Yeah.
Just to make us all more comfortable. Everybody knows everybody. I know where you're from and where you know, what your intentions are sometimes. I don't know, you know, it's like, hey, the guy's here from the New York Post, like, better not make a comment about the Mets or the Yankees or something. Or refer to somebody, you know, it helps me a little bit. It's strategic. No, I like everyone to, you know, have a voice and know where they're from and what they're in the room. I mean, we may come across somebody sometimes like not even a journalist or a writer or a videographer, just somebody that's hanging out. I just came to watch.
Like a married couple?
The married couple things got me a little freaked out when they said, well, we got a third one. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want to hear about it.
Murph, to the game, I mean, now that the team you're playing isn't 90 miles away, what kind of atmosphere are you expecting tonight? And how much does the fan interaction actually impact the game?
Well, like I said, I was really like shocked when we went to Wrigley how impactful that was, I thought, on the game. I thought they were incredible. Now, I'm not taking a shot at our fans because I get to see that all the time, and they do make a difference. This season, the fans have made a difference. There's no question, and that's important. But seeing what I saw in Wrigley Field, that was an incredible environment, home field environment. And then you throw in the wind and the ivy and the brick wall and the basket and just how tough it is. It's right on top of you, and it's a tough place to play. You know, tough place to play. So, yeah, the environments matter. And what am I expecting tonight? I expect our fans to show up. And everybody wants to see the Dodgers play. They're, you know, have some of the biggest stars in the game. And really, I mean, some of the biggest stars in the game. And look at this room. This room, you know, not too many seats open. So, if it was the Brewers and, you know, Biloxi Shuckers, you wouldn't have a full room. You know what I mean? So, the Dodgers bring it. Where's Mario been? He just works for you guys? Is he going to be around anymore? Because I want to be able to. Really? You think he'd be at the games? Yeah, would you ask him? Because I want to give him something. He was a trooper for the season. I have a little gift for him.
Let's go to Steve, second row.
Hey, Steve.
When Abner was in here, he was talking about one of the differences when he was hurt last year and the stuff he went through. He kind of learned to become a more disciplined pitcher. Just what's the difference you've seen in him now versus maybe last year, a couple of years ago when you were cooking?
Yeah, I mean, I think Abner has realized, I think he has matured, but I think he realizes we love him. You know what I mean? And I think for some people, it's hard to accept that love. You know what I mean? And he realizes this team loves me, needs me, and accepts me. You know, with all my antics or whatever it is, they love me, they accept me, they need me. That's a great place to be, you know, like where you know you have great worth with your team and you have value. God, that's a great feeling, man. And I want that for our players to know that all of them have that place and value. That's kind of cool, especially when these players haven't played for a long time. So it adds to the fabric. Great question, and by the way, Steve, your best of the year. I think. I'm not trying to be. I don't know how to evaluate because I don't really know.
Let's go to Jesse.
Thought I'd say it.
Far right in the third row.
Hey, Murph.
Hey, Jess.
I know Ashby can go more than one inning, but in general, is there something you like or the organization has begun to like about an opener besides getting through the first inning? In other words, taking pressure off a young starter like Priest or Mizorowski. Is there something you've kind of grown into liking about it?
Yeah, I mean, one is it makes the other team make a choice. Do you want to bat those guys there? And we're going to get, you know, a leverage matchup early on. It's important. You saw what the first inning meant to the series, last series. But I do think there's also a little softer landing for a rookie pitcher. I'm not sure those factors are that big, but it's basically now the starter may not, the true starter may not have to face those, opposite hand sluggers more than twice, Because we all know the number's about 3 times around, but it's case by case. You remember the game that this kid threw in Tampa? They took him out, whatever, It's none of my business. I wasn't in on it, so I don't know all the particulars, but I remember watching that game, and I remember watching the other dugout. When they took this kid out, everybody went, thank God, I don't care who else is coming in, So, there's something to it.
Let's go to Kurt in the third row.
Murph, on some of the roster decisions, starting with Mears and Myers, is Mears healthy? Was it just a matter of getting length and matchups out of Myers?
First of all, Mears is off and Myers is on. Mears has been unbelievable for us this year. He's been that get-out-of-a-jam guy, but he's really been most effective when used in small spurts. We're in a 7-game series now, and we basically have 1.5 starters, available, or maybe a total of 2 starters available as far as length and where they are right now in the season. So with that, we've got to look for more length. Most people drop the position player and add another pitcher. We chose not to for particular reasons, and then gain some more length out of that.
And then on the left-handed side, just the decision to stick with Gasser instead of Rob Z and DL as the other options there?
Yeah, those are all big discussions. Rob Z, again, short increments, right? They're not going to they go 1-4-7 with their deal. We've done that all year, right? 1-4-7 with our 3 lefties. So they do 1-4-7 mostly. So the Rob Z thing, you're going to get 2 bad matchups. And if they were to ever hit for Muncy, you might get 0 matchups. So that was that. Any short, and I don't mean short, I mean, he's a 1-inning guy. All right. Whereas Gasser and DL Hall can extend. Gasser especially can get out to 55, 60 pitches. DL hasn't been stretched out that far recently. And we made the decision to go with Gasser.
Adam, second row.
Murph, on a scale of 0% to 100%, would you share with us the odds?
You love this inside information. You'd love it. I mean, we
The
should
odds-
just have you in the office and just give you all our forms so you can be part of the whole thing.
Great.
Well, jump in there.
The odds Priester pitches tonight for what that would mean for the rest of the series, his
Yeah.
availability.
I think the odds of Priester throwing today is about 73%.
Let's go to Jack.
71%.
Row in the middle.
Murph, when you guys are,
Sport coach, Jack?
went
Really?
really fancy today.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Why not last week?
Do you like it?
I didn't see the whole ensemble. You know what I mean? Why don't you get up?
It's not too
Get up,
crazy.
Jack.
I gotta
Get
stand up.
Jack.
Do you want me to turn around too?
We got jeans on?
No.
Those are like pants or sweats?
They're like.
Oh, you got a belt on. You got a belt
they're
on.
like dress pants, yeah.
Nice, Jack. I like it.
Those are not dress pants.
They're not?
I consider
Girl, I
them
love you
dressy
calling them
enough.
out just like that. That's so beautiful. Those are like work pants, right?
They're just like.
Hang around in the house. Oh, now you're taking shots at Milwaukee. See the riffraff you bring with you, you know what I'm saying? You bring a couple of New Yorkers in here and you got riffraff calling out other people. This nice woman was just trying to give him some fashion tips for his future. How old are you, Jack?
23.
You just helped this guy.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I can take that with me now, thank you. What was my question?
I shook you up a little bit, I get it.
When you guys are making the decision to roll the lefty out against some of those guys at the top as an opener, what is it about Ashby specifically that has made him that best fit for you guys, or makes you think he's that best fit over some other lefties like Koenig or Gasser?
Yeah. It's good. It's a great question, too. Ashby's done it. He's done it recently. I think I like I like Koenig more at the end, his versatility, even his length, really. Ash has been used a lot. So, do we go Ash one inning, or do we go through Muncy? You know, that's the other thought. So I don't know. Is Ash better against righties? A little bit with the sinker, and who knows? That goes into it.
We'll stay here in the third row.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Oh, yesterday you talked about Otani.
Dice K, right?
Yeah, Dice K. Yeah.
See how I remember that?
Yeah.
Good split, right?
Right, yeah. Dice K.
You don't throw much anymore?
Right. Yeah, your pronunciation is great. So, right. Yesterday you talked about Otani as a pitcher, but how are you going to utilize Otani as a hitter? I mean, Phillies used a bunch of lefties, and you know, he's struggling a little bit. So that's going to be the key for you guys.
Well, I think most people struggle against Sanchez, Luzardo, and Suarez. You know, those guys are really, really good, really good. So I don't consider Otani struggling. I don't. It's baseball. You know, you can go through 30 at bats or 50 at bats and not put up the same numbers and maybe be hitting the ball hard or whatever. But I don't have Otani struggling. But I want to throw lefties against him whenever we can. It's always harder for a lot of those lefties to face lefties that are throwing 95 and above and sinkers into them. So, I mean, the way you do it, right? Here's how you beat every great hitter. Babe Ruth, you pitch the same way. Hard in here as you can, right? And then it opens up over there sometimes. And do you double up in here or maybe not? Or do you open up breaking ball because he's looking for it in here? You know, it's a little cat and mouse thing. And that's what we'll do.
Let's go straight up to the top row.
Murph, at the end of last series, you shouted out the coaching staff. A couple of guys that are kind of on the bottom of the coaching staff ladder, Christian Correa and Adam Weissenberger, the bullpen catchers. How important are they to what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that whole position, bullpen catcher, is not like the old days where all he did was catching the pen. Now they're involved in scouting reports. They're involved in all sorts of things. We have another one, Tyler Duvall, who's involved with the front office. But those guys, Wise is caught in our system, and we've known him for a while. He's been with us for a number of years, and they have catch partners that's very important to the pitchers. They're involved in the pen. They understand the guy's stuff. They understand their routine. They're very, very important. It's like a caddy in golf, you know, very important.
Let's go all the way to the right in the third row. Andy.
Just in trusting Ashby to open tonight, how do you weigh the guy he has been for so much of the year versus the way he pitched against the Cubs?
Yeah, I mean, I think he pitched well against the Cubs. I mean, Bush hit a ground ball up the middle, and then he hit a guy in a bounce breaking ball. The three-run homer, they had his pitches, and Suzuki looked to first and saw the sign. There was a changeup and hit a high changeup, which is his third pitch. I think he pitched well, and he's pitched well all year. And you know, he's one of our guys. We're not looking at a small sample of what he's done lately, especially if the ball's coming out good, and he's confident.
Come over here to the left, Russell, second row.
Russell.
What's up, Murph? You guys like to be aggressive on the bases. That's kind of your game. You didn't have your first 2 stolen bases until that Game 5 against the Cubs.
We had 3. They didn't give us one on the Yelich steal, but it's utterly ridiculous. I'll argue with anyone about that. I mean, that's a stolen base because they don't throw the ball. Why would you give Sal a steal then? Because they didn't make an attempt on Sal either, right? The other day when he left early, they didn't make an attempt on Sal, and you don't give Yelich that one for there. That's preposterous. There must be something in there.
I'll call it 3, Murph. Let's say 3.
All right, thank you.
I
feel so much better.
In a series like this, how do you balance guys being aggressive and playing your game, but also not wanting to take away from big inning for those guys like Jackson, William, and Yelly?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, what you got to think about is bases are really, really important, but they're not more important than outs. You know what I mean? So you got 27 outs to work with in the first 9. Like, you can't afford to make silly outs. But if the bag is there, you know, if the bag is there, you got to take it, or you want that pitcher to be worried that you might take it. Because if he's thinking about he might take it, that might change how he executes that pitch. So the threat of the steal is real. It's real. And if I can get the third baseman to play on the grass for a right-handed hitter because he bunts, haven't I helped myself positioning-wise? But it's got to be legit. You got to be able to put down the bunt. If he backs off and covers his position, I got to be able to bunt. And if I do, then it's like, wow. And then the pitcher's got to run all the way over there, turn to left-hander, he's got to go all the way around it, throw to first, catch his breath. I mean, it's more than you think. It seems so easy, but we have to take advantage of stuff like that. Because we got guys playing that have, 80 games in the big leagues, and we got to play that type. That's part of our offense.
Let's go back to Jack.
Murphy kind of touched on it with the value of having more stretched out guys in a series like this, but 7-game series with 2 days off versus a 5-gamer with 3 days off. Does that also change how much room you have to manage aggressively, or can it change the kind of roles that guys might be called on to fill throughout this series?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jack. It does. It does, and it's one of those things where it's win tonight, okay, but when you get to about game 4, you better be careful of what you've done to your pitching staff. So it might show up game 4, game 5, if you aren't mindful, so there's all sorts of that into it. Now, we're still playing win tonight. That's utmost win tonight, but it's first game. Now, when you get into the second game, especially the third game, okay, we just had a day off. How much do you want to use here? What do you got to think about? That's where you can get exposed. Because now your thinking is, we're not playing win tonight. We're playing, hey, we got to pitch these guys because these guys are gassed. We got to try to keep ourselves from that situation. Comes down to depth and quality of depth.
All right, Murph, we'll take one more. Second row right in the middle.
Murph, you talk a lot about the who in the room, and when it comes to Quinn Priester specifically, what gives you the confidence to see how resilient he was, after the early season struggles, that he'll bounce back coming into this series?
Yeah, there isn't a guy in that room that doesn't trust Quinn because they've watched him go through that very thing. He came as a very unfinished product, and he's still an unfinished product. I call him a rookie because he's never really pitched consistently like he has this year. When we got him, he had a few starts where like, oof, this guy needs some work. Maybe not. Maybe he's not ready, and he just stepped up. And it was through that adversity, as I mentioned, in that Cubs game that was here when they waxed him, that you saw him grow and come back out with a focus and a certainty and a conviction that said, I can do this. And then he got on a roll, man. It was, wow, pretty special. Unknown, a virtual unknown, I'm sure that most Dodger players can't name 8 guys on our roster, No offense to them, they shouldn't have to know the names, but, these are some guys that hopefully they know their names by the time it's over. But you never know. One of our clubbies last night, you guys know what I mean? Clubhouse attendants. One of our clubbies gave Mookie a ride. It's a pretty long walk from here all the way out to the cars, and passed me right by like I wasn't even there. Like, zzz. I'm like, hey, 10 years, I've never gotten a ride. There's Mookie in front smiling.